All right, everyone, so this is video 3 of I Can Mat, making sure that you are properly trained in how to cut a mat so that it's reaching our goal, which is a mat to gallery standards. It's correctly measured, neat and clean, and it is, when you submit it, we're happy and we're not going to send it back to you saying, do it again. So you have made your way through planning with your correct measurements and you cut your mat board yourself. Video 2, which is cutting, where you actually cut on the mat cutter and it fits. And now you're on assemble. And assemble is actually pretty important because if you do kind of a crummy job assembling, you could damage your artwork when it's in transit with art shows. So I showed in video 1, but I'll just show again. It's not just the front that matters, it's also the back. So you have to have a protector board back here, otherwise someone could put their hand right through your artwork. And you have to have your name, of course, and probably our school name on there so that people know who it belongs to. And your taping is neat and clean. There's not any edges that are open where someone could accidentally slide a piece of art into there, therefore damaging your work. So we've got a goal. You, by now, should have your window properly measured, knowing that your artwork is going to fit. And you're going to need, for the rest of the video, a pencil, and you're going to need tape, and you're going to need your sheet. And if I were you, because our art room tends to be less than pristine, clean, and neat, I would get a piece of newsprint, put that down under your space, especially you AP students who are probably doing this all in one shot, so that you don't have to worry about your artwork getting messy, and more importantly, your mat board that you just spent so much time getting messy. So we're going to start by turning your mat over and turning your artwork over and seeing if we can fit the artwork in that frame. Different ways you can do this. Sometimes I'll put a piece of tape on the art itself, kind of like this, just as a marker, and I'll turn it over and I'll sort of hang it here and look to see if it fits. Any way works for you, trying to make sure it's fitting on the board, but in this case, I know I've got enough space, so I'm going to just sort of feel it, sort of zen it, make sure that it's centered there. I know none of the art is inside the window, so I'm just going to tack it there. Now you can leave it at that if you want to just tack it, if you're going to remove it later and take it apart, but I tend to like to do the front loading work so that I don't have to fix it again next time. So I probably would add another piece of tape here, and another piece of tape on the right, and probably one more on the bottom. But I'm not taping all the way around because chances are I'm going to remove this piece of art from the mat someday, just in case. Pull that tight, tape across the bottom. Flip it over, make sure it looks nice, make sure it meets your, you're happy with it. And you're not done, because what you need to do is put a backing on there. Look at how this kind of flops out. Look at how something could slide under there and affect the art. The back looks shoddy. We don't want any of that. So the next thing you're going to do is cut a backing board that's slightly bigger than your window. Remember your window back here? You measured a window size of 14 by 16. That was what you cut into the mat. So I cut this one at 15 by 17, just slightly bigger, so it should fit right in the back. Actually, I lucked out because in the mat board pile over there, there was one that just fit perfectly. Life is good. So if you can pull something out of the mat board pile, the scrap mat, that would be even better instead of wasting a new board. Here you are going to tape all the way around. So all 4 sides.
I'm just going to speed this up so you can see taping all the way around at a much faster pace.
So that might seem a little bit like overkill to you, taping all the way around, but you'd be surprised how many strange tape assemblies I see. Don't resist the urge to use the tiniest little bits of tape. Now is not the time to scrimp on tape. You want to make sure that it is completely taped down, smooth on the back. Last step, add your name and school or class, depending on what you're doing this project for. If you can show me that your artwork fits in the mat, it's fully taped on the back, and it's labeled, I will check, check, check And instead of my signature, you get a sticker, depending on which one I've got in my desk drawer that day. Congratulations, you just matted a piece of artwork, and now you won't have to pay someone to do it for you in the future, and you can be self-sufficient, turning in your artwork into AP, into all of our shows, and do it by yourself, plus impress your friends or charge them if they can't do it themselves, so that you'll have a side business. You never know. But congratulations, now you have a perfectly cut and clean, neat mat that meets gallery standards, so that you could turn this into us and we know whose work it is. It's ready to go and will probably be more likely to be chosen for the gallery upstairs or an art show, because we won't have to do the matting. It's done. If you're an AP, you're expected to do this for your shows, senior portfolio and AP photo for our art shows in the spring. So this is something you need to be able to do. Congratulations.